Oh, oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. Welcome back to the College to Friends YouTube channel. My name is Garrett, and today I'm going to review Call of the Wild for you. And in the spirit of this movie, I'm going to do it Wild Edition. This right here is Koda. He's my miniature Aussie Shepherd. He's about 1.5 years old now, so he's basically a little over a puppy. He's still wild. He's still crazy. But I want to have him out for this entire video because he's a pupper, and it's a pupper movie. And why not? Let's see how it goes, okay? It's going to be 15 minutes at most. You're going to get 15 minutes to play. And I get 15 minutes to deal with a dog running around the camper while I film a video. Let's do it. So, Call of the Wild is directed by Chris Sanders. It stars Harrison Ford, Dan Stevens. I don't remember his name, but he was in Jurassic World. He was one of the Velociraptor handlers. Karen Gillan's in this movie. I thought Bryce Dallas Howard was in this movie for a quick second, but she's not. Anyways, Chris Sanders, director and voice of my favorite Disney movie, Lilo and Stitch. Voice of Stitch, creator of How to Train Your Dragon. Those movies. Directs this movie, which is mostly live action, lots of CG. I think every animal, for the most part, is CG. And that's okay. This is what The Lion King should have been. CG animals in a realistic setting, but still able to emote so that we, people, can understand how they are feeling. We, also meaning the general audience. So we can understand, like, how those animals are feeling. And this is what we get with this. Buck, our main dog, the one we follow throughout the entire movie, is exactly like that. He emotes a lot. We have other dogs that are, like, of the evil sense. So they have, like, stern faces. They're gritty and everything. And, like, that's more than we got. We got, like, inquisitive looks from other things. Koda has a bone now. We'll show people your bone. I'm wearing just regular shorts for this review. Uh-oh, Koda dropped his bone. Anywho. So, it worked with Buck and every other dog. And in the end, this movie is just a delight. It's for kids as well. Mostly working in a movie theater. It's mostly been people most probably above 50, 40 seeing this movie at the moment. So it's like the elderly people, probably because it is Harrison Ford. And the story itself by Jack London, Call of the Wild. This is stuff they had to read when they were in school. I'm not saying that we don't. I don't think we did. I did read it when I was younger. Just because I liked reading and everything. So I know what the story was about. I knew going into it, it's not going to be that super deep. It's not going to be amazing. I liked it. It's enjoyable. I'm a dog person. I have a dog, as you see. And so just seeing dogs be dogs, even if they're not real, was great. It was perfect for me. Harrison Ford, the lead actor in the movie, is not in it for a long time. It takes him a while to be in it, fully. And in that time, you're getting to learn about Buck, the dog, and you're seeing his journey, seeing him start from where he is at his lowest point, and then rise up, kind of fall again, but then rise up again. And I liked it. It just worked really, really well. Speaking of Harrison Ford, his acting was great in this movie. He gets to play someone who has had loss and is dealing with that loss through routes of alcohol in ways that he shouldn't. And he learns not to do that. He becomes sober. And he learns to deal with his grief in a very heart-touching way. Especially there being a dog there. It just worked a lot for me. Up, up, up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh. So, speaking of the dogs, I felt like they were a good thing to have throughout the movie. They provided the audience with our point of view being that through the dogs we're supposed to understand when he's scared, when he is not, and they don't talk. Which is nice. To have a movie where dogs don't talk when they're the main characters. Because that means you have to trust your audience, and there is voiceover by Harrison Ford as a narrator, just so that we can understand things for the movie. Which was okay, it worked. And I felt like that was worthwhile in the movie, so we can understand where Buck is, and the people around him. Once there are people that are made like characters for the movie, we don't have to have that narration because they can talk and explain stuff to us. Not exactly to us, but explain what's happening. They can see from their eyes how Buck is and the other dogs are acting when he was part of the male team. And they give that to us for us to understand. And it worked incredibly well. I do like this movie a lot. It's just delightful. It's delightful. I don't know why I keep saying that. That's just, I think I wrote that a couple times. But let's jump into the notebook and see where we have with some of these notes, if they can provide more talking points. Yeah, Buck was cute. He was adorable. All the dogs were adorable, especially once we had stuff do that. I loved the Buck's inner confidence through the personification or dogification of a wolf. Animification? I don't know what the correct thing is. You're going to hear bone grinding sounds because he's eating his bone on the ground. But because this is a Wild Edition review, we gotta deal with it. You mostly because you have to listen to this, and I don't. I just have to listen and live it. Yay me. Well, and you. There's a meet cute between Harrison Ford. There's some very good tension in some of these scenes when Buck and the alpha dog are fighting. That was really tense. When Buck is now leading the male team and they're driving and there's like an avalanche coming down, that was really good. There was a montage at one point though that I think the music should have been a bit louder. I don't think that was mixed incredibly well. The score is good. I like listening to the end credit scores of movies, and this one delights me. It's just fun to listen to and have to work with. Get your bone. 2, 3. He didn't catch his bone. Up. And so Dan Stevens comes in, and he's a joy to watch in this movie because he gets to just be like unhinged crazy. Which he has been unhinged before in like Legion, but that's a different extent of unhinged. This is him just yelling. I would expect on set to there just be like spit flying out of his mouth while he's saying his lines. It's really, really good. We find Hobbiton in this movie. That got me to laugh a little bit. That there's this like little cottage thing that was built, but it just looks like a Hobbit house, even though it's not like fully one. It just reminded me of it. Honestly, those cute puppies at the end that he has. Anyways, if you like dogs, you'll love this movie. It's really just fun to see dogs be dogs. And they have such personalities, they have such great character. And I think this movie shows it really, really well. Harrison Ford is good in this movie. The directing is great. You have just wide landscape shots of Alaska, some of which I think are green screened, created for it, just because you can't really have fake stuff and then have the CG dogs there. I don't think it works as well. There's some obvious green screen work here and there, just people standing and it's green screen. The sets in Alaska are not really in Alaska. They're on a sound stage, I believe, that is just walls are just green or blue. So it took me out of it a little bit, knowing that it's not exactly real but it looks beautiful enough that you can respect the area it's coming from and understand why in a day like today's age, why it's important to like conserve these natural forest areas if at least the ones in these movies existed. They probably are. I'm sure they did work going through Alaska, finding these spots, taking pictures that they could have a reference for the movie. This isn't a lazy movie. There's a lot of work put into it, and I really enjoyed it. It's delightful. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe button. Koda, come here. Koda, come here. Up. Up. Say goodbye. Bye-bye, Koda. Yes, thank you. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.